פרשת תרומה. ערב שבת קודש, פרשת תרומה, תשפ"ד. The shiur today was sponsored by an anonymous, לכבוד me, and I'm sure לכבוד יצחק, and לכבוד also Avram Shomer, and חזק ברוך to him, הקדוש ברוך הוא, we bless him with ברכה והצלחה in everything that he does. In the parasha, we are reading about the Menorah
That you would say
had to be done. The pasuk says that Borei Olam said to Moshe in Perek Kaf-Hei, pasuk Lamed Aleph, Ve'asita menorat zahav tahor. You should make a menorah pure gold. Miksha te'aseh ha-menorah. From one piece, the menorah will be done. So the question is here that you start with, you have to do the menorah, and then it says that the menorah will be done. The Midrash felt here in this word, he was bothered with this word. So the Midrash says the following. In Midrash Terumah, it's also being brought in a different language in Rashi, in Parashat Behalotcha. And this is what says the Midrash. At motze, שניתקשה משה במעשה מנורה, יותר מכל כלי המשכן. Moshe Rabbeinu had difficulties in doing the menorah, more than all other vessels that he had to do in the Mishkan. And therefore, what Borei Olam did, Borei Olam took his finger and he showed Moshe how to do it. But nevertheless, Moshe Rabbeinu couldn't do it. So what Borei Olam said to Moshe, take the piece of gold and throw it to the fire. And what happened was, after he threw it to the fire, the gold, the menorah was done by itself in a miraculous way, and the menorah was standing. Asks the Mefarshim here a strong question. Borei Olam knew that Moshe will have difficulties in making the menorah. And Borei Olam knew also that after he will show Moshe with his finger how to do the menorah, nevertheless, Moshe Rabbeinu will have difficulty in doing it. So why Borei Olam didn't tell Moshe from the beginning, take the piece of gold, throw it to the fire, and then the menorah will be done by itself? Why Borei Olam said to Moshe, do the menorah, he showed him how to do, and then you knew that he will not be able to do it. So why did you didn't tell him in the beginning, throw it to the fire, and it will be done by a miraculous way? From here, explains the Mefarshim that the Torah wanted to teach through this thing that when a person has to do something, he has to try to do it as much as he can. To try and to do the most effort that he can. And when Borei Olam sees that the person did the effort and he reached the point that he cannot do anymore, at this moment, Borei Olam interferes and he helps the person that the mission will be done. We know that three things Moshe Rabbeinu had difficulties in it. One was Kiddush Levana, HaChodesh. As the Pasuk says, HaChodesh Hazeh Lachem. So Rashi says Moshe Rabbeinu didn't know what is the Levana that we are talking about. So Borei Olam showed him. He had difficulties in Parashat HaChodesh. And also in the Shkalim. He didn't know what is Machatzit HaShekel. And the third one is Menorah. If we are taking all these three things that Moshe Rabbeinu had difficulties, says the Mefarshim, is the abbreviation of, we have Menorah, difficulty, Shkalim, and HaChodesh. Menorah, first letter is Mem, Shkalim, first letter is Shin, HaChodesh, first letter is Hey, comes out Moshe. But we have to understand this idea is a nice idea that Borei Olam interferes and comes to help to a person only when he does the maximum that he could. Why Borei Olam showed this idea through the Menorah? What was special in the Menorah that Borei Olam showed it through the Menorah? He could have said, do the Mizbeach or do the Ark of the Aaron, do the Kruvim also, but there you could have also make such difficulties that Moshe Rabbeinu had difficulties. But Borei Olam showed it through the Menorah. The question is why the Menorah is being said by the Mefarshim. The Netziv in Amek Davar speaks a lot about it in Parashat Terumah, in Parashat Tetzaveh, in Parashat Ba'alotcha. The Torah is a symbol to the wisdom of the Torah. And as the Gemara says in Mesechet Baba Batra, Harotze sheyachkim yadrim. If a person wants to become clever, he should go to the south. And the Gemara brings a symbol, the Simanach, Menorah bedarom. The Menorah was in Mikdash, Menorah stood in the south. This also is a hint to us when on Chag Chanukah, the place in the shul that we put the Menorah is in the south. And we see there is a big hint that the Menorah is a symbol for the Torah. It's being brought by the Malbim, and also it is written in other books, also in the you saw it also in the Sefer HaKeidah of Rabbi Yitzchak Arama and other giants. And they said that there is a hint in the Menorah. The parts of the Menorah. Let me tell you what are the parts of the Menorah. The Menorah has seven lines that you hold the cups of the Menorah. Shiv'a kanim, 11 כפתורים, 11 כפתורים, 9 פרחים, 22 גביעים. Totally 7 11, 9, 22, totally 49. Hints to the time after counting 49 days, Am Yisrael got the Torah. But not only that, we have Shiv'a Kanim. All these things that we just mentioned, Shiv'a Kanim, 11 כפתורים, 9 פרחים, 22 גביעים, are parallel to the Pesukim, to the first Pesukim in the Torah, in Bereshit, Shmot, Vayikra, Bamidbar, and Devarim. The first Pasuk in Sefer Bereshit is parallel to the Shivat Kenei HaMenorah. The Pasuk says, Bereshit bara Elokim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. 7 words. 7 parallel to the 7 Kenei HaMenorah. Sefer Shmot ve'eile Shmot bnei Yisrael haba'im Mitzrayma et Yaakov ish ubeito ba'u. 11 words. The 11 words are parallel to the 11 kaftorim that was in the menorah. Sefer Vayikra has 9 words. Vayikra el Moshe, Vaydaber Amonai elav, me'ohel moed leimor. You have 9 words. The 9 words are parallel to the 9 perachim, the 9 flowers that was in the menorah, made of gold. Sefer Bamidbar has 17 words. Vaydaber Amonai el Moshe במדבר סיני, באוהל מועד, באחד לחודש השני, בשנה השנית לצאתם מארץ מצרים לאמור. You have here 17 words. These are parallel to the height of the menorah that had 17 tefachim. It was a little bit more than 17 tefachim, but it's parallel to the full tefachim. And Sefer Devarim has 22 words. אלה הדברים אשר דיבר משה אל כל ישראל בעבר הירדן, במדבר, בערבה, מול סוף, בין פרן ובין תופל ולבן וחצרות ודי זהב, totally 22 words. These 22 words are parallel to the 22 Gevi'im that was in the menorah. They had the shape of cups in the menorah. So we have here a hint that the menorah is a symbol for the Torah. And now we will come to explain why the idea that Borei Olam helps. When you are to Moshe, he helped him. After he saw that he was burdened a lot and made a lot of effort, since the menorah is a symbol of the Torah, so Borei Olam wanted to teach us that to learn Torah is not easy, because the Torah is not the thinking, it's not the mind of people. This is the mind of Borei Olam. It's the chokhmah of Borei Olam. And it's natural that people will have difficulties in learning. And the Gemara is also, it's not easy to learn and to understand. But at the end, after a person toils in learning, and he puts all his mind in the learning, he had a zchut to understand. But we have to understand here, what is this zchut that he had to understand? The zchut is, Gemara says in Masechet Megillah, Yagata umatzata ta'amin. If you toiled and you found, believe. This is being talked about learning. The Gemara didn't say Yagata, you toiled, Vehevanta, and you understood. The Gemara didn't say this word. The Gemara used umatzata, explained the Gaon Vilna. The meaning here is that after you toiled and you worked hard, Borei Olam gave you a present that you understood. The understanding is a present from Borei Olam after he saw that you toiled. And this is the matzata, like a person finds something on the way. He finds a golden watch. So it's like a present from Borei Olam that he found it. And the same thing is about the learning. So, and since the menorah is a symbol of the Torah, so therefore Borei Olam showed by making difficulty to Moshe to understand, to know how to do the menorah. And because the menorah is parallel to the Torah, that there are difficulties in learning. And the same thing that Borei Olam, after this, he helped Moshe through a miraculous way by throwing the golden piece of gold to the fire, and a menorah came out, a metziah came out, a new thing came out. The same thing is in learning. I saw in the book Agra de Pirka. Agra de Pirka was a book that was written by the author of the Bnei Yisachar, which name was written by Rabbi Tzvi Elimelech Midinov, one of the big Hasidim. And he writes, if a person has a difficulty in Gemara and he doesn't understand, so he gave him a segula. And what is the segula? He says that he should read the parasha of the Menorah. And let me read what he says. ונראה לי בסגולה, כשאדם אינו מבין איזה דבר בתורה, יאמר פרשת המנורה בתורה, ויאירו עיניו. והמשכיל יבין. So this is the idea of the menorah, and this is a hint to all our boys in the yeshiva that Torah, to learn Torah and to understand Torah is not easy, but you have to toil and to put your effort in to try to understand. Difficulty in the Hebrew, to understand the Hebrew, difficult in understanding the concept. Put your mind in, and after you will make the effort, comes the help of Borei Olam. As the Gaon Vilna said, Yagata umatzata ta'amin. There is also another thing in the Mishkan. This talking about the ark in Beit HaMikdash. When we look in the psukim of making the Aron, the Torah says, ועשו ארון עצי שיטים, 2.5 אורכו, 1.5 רוחבו, 1.5 קומתו. The pasuk started with the word ועשו, while in all the other vessels that had to be done in Mikdash, Borei Olam used, the Torah used a singular word, ve'asita, by the Aron, ve'asu. This is a question of the Midrash. And the Midrash says, since the Aron is also a symbol of Torah that was the Luchot, was in the Aron, so therefore every person has a part in the Torah, has a part in Torah, and therefore the pasuk says ve'asu, that to show that everyone has a part and he has to participate in the Torah, in the Aron. But the first time that the word Aron is written, ve'asu Aron atzei shitim, the word Aron is written full with a vav. Aleph, Reish, Vav, Nun. But after this, in Pasuk Kaf Daled, the Pasuk says, והבאת את הבדים על צלעות הארון. The word Aron is written missing a vav. And after this, לשאת את הארון בהם, missing a vav. And after this, the Pasuk says, also, נתת לכפורת, נתת את הכפורת על הארון מלמעלה, missing a vav. כפורת is the cover of the Aron, missing a vav. And then פסוק כ"ב, ונועדתי לכי שם, ודיברתי איתך מעל הכפורת מבין שני הקרובים אשר על ארון העדות. The word Aron is written with a vav. The question is, why all the time the word Aron is missing vav, and in the beginning and at the end, the Aron is written full with vav. In order to explain it, we have to understand what is the Aron. Is the Aron a vessel by itself, or the Aron is a place for the Luchot HaBrit to be put in? From the Mefarshim, we see from the Rambam. Let's see what the Rambam says in Hilchot Beit HaBechira, in Perek Zayin Halacha Yud. The Rambam writes that you are not allowed to do vessels of chulin in your house like vessels that was in the Mikdash. For instance, a person is not allowed to do a menorah with 7 sticks, with 7 kanim, because this was the menorah in Mikdash. What you can do is a menorah of 5 sticks or of 8 sticks, as we do for Hanukkah. But we are not allowed to do 7. And the Rambam writes there, don't do the shulchan, the table light, not do the menorah. But the Rambam didn't mention, don't do the Aron. as it was in Mikdash. The Rabbi didn't write about this. So I found in the Midrash Teiman, Midrash Teiman was written by a Rabbi Edney, a rabbi from Aden. He lived around in the 14th century. He collected a lot of Midrashim. And I want to read in front of you what the Midrash says. And he writes, he says in the Midrash that you have in the Mikdash 7 vessels: Menorah, Aaron, Mizbeach, Shulchan, and he didn't mention the Aaron. And he says the Aaron is not a vessel. It's only a place for the Luchot. Means to say that this box is not considered an Aaron unless you put in the Luchot HaBrit. If the Luchot is in, it's called Aaron. If the Luchot is not in, it's like a box. Therefore, in the beginning, when Borei Olam said to Moshe to do the Aaron, he meant make an Aaron that will be with the Luchot HaBrit in. So therefore, the pasuk says, "Ve'asu Aaron atzei shitim." Aaron is full with vav, because only then it's being called Aaron. All the other places that it's written the word Aaron is when the Luchot is not in. You have to do the rings, you have to do the poles, to put the poles. All these things are side things to the Aaron. The Aaron is being called Aaron only if the Luchot HaBrit is inside, if the 2 tablets are in. Therefore, at the end of the last pasuk, the pasuk says, "Veno'adeti lecha sham, vedibarti itcha me'al hakaporet, מבין שני הקירובים, אשר על ארון העדות." What is ארון העדות? The ארון, when the tablets, the עדות, לוחות העדות are in. The word ארון is written with full with the vav. Means that the Aron HaKodesh that we had in Beit Mikdash, what makes it as the Aron HaKodesh? Only because of the tablets that are in. And therefore, we understand that in the time of the Second Temple was missing, Aron HaKodesh was not there. Why Aron HaKodesh was not there in Second Mikdash? They didn't have Aron Kodesh, the Aron. Why? Because there was no tablets. Second Bet Mikdash didn't have the tablets. No tablets, no Aron. But if we will say that the Aron is a vessel by itself, so do the Aron without the tablets. From here we learn, said the Baal Meshech Chochmah, that Aron without tablets is not an Aron. What is it? It can be a box, but it's not an Aron, not Aron HaKodesh. This is the power of the Torah, that the Torah can change everything, to lift it up to a high degree. We have to remember that Aron HaKodesh had poles in the Aron, 4 rings in the sides, 2 rings from one side, 2 rings from the other side. Inside, he used to put 2 poles to carry the Aron. Other vessels had also the same thing. The Shulchan had also poles. But by the Aron it says that the poles cannot be taken out. They had to be all the time in. By the Shulchan, it doesn't say so. Why? Because when the Shulchan, they used to carry the Shulchan, you need the poles. But when you are resting, and they rested in a place, they don't need the poles. The poles disturbs. So they used to take out the poles and put them in the side. When they got an order, we have to move now, so they put the poles in. By the Aron Kodesh, no, they did not took out the poles. Several explain in them. Sefer HaChinuch says if you are taking out the poles, you get lashes. Why? They are resting now. The Aron stays in one place. What do you need the poles in? Several explanations were said the reason. One reason is the Aron Kodesh was in Kodesh HaKodashim. No one is going there. No people are there. So if the poles are there, they don't disturb. Another reason was said by the Mefarshim, that Aron Kodesh used to go with them to a war. They used to go with Aron Kodesh. So if Chas v'Shalom suddenly starts a war, and now you will go and look to where is the poles and to put them in, it takes time. So therefore the Aron has to be ready any minute to be taken. But maybe there is also another explanation. Our Torah, Aron Kodesh, what does it show that you remove the poles? That now this is the place that we stay, and this is the place now of the table. And if I will take the poles out of the Aron, it will mean that this is the place of the Aron now. But Aron doesn't have place. Aron symbolizes the Torah. Torah has no place. Torah goes with you everywhere. We are calling all the dinim that we have, all the dinim in Shulchan Aruch, all the paragraphs in the Rambam, halachot. Halachot comes from the word halacha. Halacha comes from the word holech, goes. The Torah goes with you everywhere. Even if a person goes to take a bath, there is a halacha. What is the halacha? With wit, how you start. You start to wash your legs, or you start to wash the head. And the halacha says, start to wash the head. You don't start to wash the body, the head starts, not the legs, but the head. You are going to a bathroom. With what hand you are using? Right hand or the left hand? Yesh halacha. You are using the left hand. So we see from here that the Torah has no place. Halacha, the Torah has no place. The halachot has no place. The Torah goes with you everywhere. This is the lesson to us, to take the Torah with us wherever we go. I want to wish everyone a Birkat Shabbat Shalom. In Mir Hashem, we will meet next week. Shabbat Shalom.